Welcome to 5 Points Blues presentation of Back to the Basics. Everything you wanted to know about Cowboys football, but were too afraid to ask. Here are your hosts, Nikki Harrison and Kristi Scales.
Hello, happy Tuesday. Welcome to Back to the Basics. Everything you wanted to know about Cowboys football, but were too afraid to ask. I'm Nikki Harrison, here with Kristi Scales over here. And over here, we have Durbin Smith joining us, director, choreographer of Dallas Cowboys Rhythm Blue dancers. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
And you brought two of your
dancers. Yes, they're both rookies. I brought Kristi, she's from Kentucky, and then I brought Barney, aka Bruno, from Plano, Texas.
But that's because you've got auditions coming up very soon in May, and so we want to hear about it from the perspective of folks who went through the process last year and successfully made it and just finished your rookie season with DC R&B. And of course, Jenny, congratulations on having your 10-year anniversary of Dallas Cowboys Rhythm and Blues and now starting your 11th season.
Yes.
So tell us about, before we talk about some specifics of the audition process, the folks who are not familiar with DC R&B and just the great style and the fun that you guys have on game day and beyond, what do we need to know about DC R&B?
So DC R&B, we started in 2009, and we started as an all-girl group. In 2014, we looked at it, and it was like, hey, what's going on? How can we be innovative and continue to be trailblazers? So we rebranded the group to be a co-ed dance crew, and there's 20 of them this year, just on the dance side. But we also have a drum line that we work with. We have about 15 of those guys, 13 play on game day. And then starting in 2017, we added a junior group in there called the Rookie Squad. So the Dallas Cowboys Rhythm and Blue is a huge umbrella. We perform pregame. We get everybody hyped up in the plazas, and then the dancers and the drum line continue throughout the game. And then this year we did 3 halftimes that were like very high energy and a lot of fun. So we go beyond game day, halftimes, and then we do a lot of work in the community as well, and we do public appearances. But that's the gist of the umbrella of our program. But the dancers, they're very contemporary and athletic, much like you would see on America's Best Dance Crew. We were talking about that earlier and how we wish it would come back, or World of Dance. So very athletic group. There's a lot of tricking and breaking. We're throwing people in the air, not breaking bones like break dancing, throwing people in the air. And it's very, urban-based movement. Their skill level is unbelievably, just so rich and sophisticated. I kind of look. If you would have told me in 2009 this is what this team would, morph into and develop into, I would have been banging pots and pans around here. I would have been so excited. So it's a brilliant program, much thanks to the incredible talent we've had come through. So starting season 11, I'm really excited and how we can push the envelope and continue to trailblaze and open new doors and innovation.
And so I know a lot of people wonder the difference between DCC and DCRB. You said it's more of an urban dance, and there truly is a difference.
There is.
Explain that a little bit, please.
So I like to always say, when you think of DCC, you think of tradition, you think of the star, you think of the boots, and the type of dance they do is very traditional, high kicks. Of course, they're well-rounded dancers and can do many different styles, but this group is really what you would see the kids in the community doing, and more so in the industry, like music videos, the television shows, things of that nature. So we bring, you have your traditional dance, and then we're over here on this side, and we bring another flavor. But I really love, I think my favorite thing is when the groups come together and we perform the halftimes together, because they, it's very much we're part of the same family, and we celebrate each other and our differences, and then we use them to empower each other to grow as dancers and people when we're all dancing together. That's been probably one of the best things about this year, is having more opportunities to bring all of our entertainment groups together and just celebrate out on the field. And I think the audiences have really loved it too.
They're so good.
For sure. And the thing is, when you're coming to a Cowboys game at AT&T Stadium, you don't have to wait to even get in the door or wait till halftime. We see you guys out on the plaza and among other things. So, Kristi, let's start with you. Some of the favorite things about game day and where we see you guys and what you get to share and show the fans.
Game day energy just overall excites me. It's one of my favorite things. My brother, we were talking about Barney playing football when he was growing up. My brother was always on a team. I was always in the stands. And just getting to come in and the energy of a game in general is one of my favorite things. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to come to the Cowboys and experience that here. But yeah, so we come in, we're right in the plazas. We'll be performing with the rookie squad. We'll be performing with the drum line. We dance about 9-10 times throughout the game, different dances. We bebop from the east to the west. We'll be up in the Miller Lite Plaza too, doing our freestyle with the drum line too. And that's another favorite for me, is to be able to see all of us do something unique and different from each other in our freestyle, but then being able to come together and do choreography and also to perform with the rookies and the drum line is really fun.
Yeah, you referenced Barney's background, and we were talking before the show got going that you played sports as a youth and all the way up through high school, and you were a football player. And I wonder if you one day dreamed of being on the field with the Cowboys in front of 95,000 people playing football, but now you're in front of 95,000 people performing as a dancer with DC R&B.
Right, yeah.
That's like.
It was weird when I was playing football. I was like, yeah, I want to, like, I've always been a Cowboys fan, so I'm like, yeah, I want to, like, play for the Cowboys and, like, be on the field and, like, you know, be in front of everybody and play in front of everybody. But, like, it's different, you know. I like it better to dance instead of play because, like, I look at on the field, I'm like, man, that looks like it hurts. And then I'm like, let me do my dance moves and I'll be fine. So, you know.
Well, you know, we have something in common because I watch you guys dance down on the sideline as the sideline reporter. I think, oh, man, that looks like it hurts.
Right.
Because he is the one lifting and having people bounce off of him or throw people up in the air.
And I'd much rather do that than hit a 200-pound dude or some whatever, 250-pound dude and getting hit by that. So I'd rather lift somebody who's like 100-something.
He does have 4 stitches underneath his chin, so we are a high-contact sport as well.
Were you doing a throw?
No, I got tumbled upon during a rehearsal, and my chin like went into the ground, like slammed into the ground, and it was just gross, really gross, just real gross. Yeah,
football.
Right, a little bit. I was like, this is why I didn't play football. So,
well, auditions start in May.
They start May 18th.
Both of you are coming back from your rookie season, and you have to audition as well.
Yes.
What is that process like? How are you preparing?
Yeah, I can go.
Okay, great.
Well, I was telling Jenny earlier, it feels weird to be in Dallas and to not, because I'm from Kentucky, it feels weird to be here in the community and not have practice or not have games. So in my mind, like, I'm ready for auditions. I'm ready for DCRB. And just preparing, staying in shape. We'll be doing our solo performance too. So kind of where we want to take it where I want to take that this year, preparing for the solos and all of that. And it's mental game, you know, just really preparing mentally, like, how can I be better than I was last year? Jeannie always pushes us to be better each game and each rehearsal, and that's something that I love about DCRB. So coming from rookie year to veteran year, how can I be better than I was the year before?
Yeah, and Barney, now you guys, you have to do your own choreography for your solo, is that right? So,
which is very different.
You're a choreographer already, so.
Yes, so that's, doing the solos last year was first of all fun to watch because, like, we got to, we had gone through the whole, like, seeing everybody do the same choreography, but then we got to, like, sit down and watch everybody do, like, their own thing. So that was really cool to see, like, everybody's individuality. And then even just doing the solo was really fun because it's like I get to show off what I can do and what I bring, like, to the table and everything, and my strengths and everything like that. So it was just a really fun experience doing, like, the solos and everything.
Yeah. Jenny, can you take us through the process of, like, the rounds, what's expected, the location, and we're gonna, we'll give the website where people can go for all the FAQs, frequently asked questions, and that. But just kind of a
walk
primer.
you through it. Well, the one thing I would say about DCRB auditions is to prepare the unexpected. Sometimes, not sometimes. I don't know why I said sometimes. All the time, the talent that we get in the judges look left and right, and it's like, how do we even begin to choose? Because everybody is so amazing. The talent level just rises each year. We have girls like Kristi that come in from very competitive collegiate teams. So, and it is a battle. But we start with, on May 18th here at Cowboys Fit, we'll start with a preliminary round. And what that usually consists of is learning choreography. And you might learn about 6-8 counts of a style that we usually would do on game day. And then they break up into groups and they present to the judges in smaller groups. So we can really look and say, okay, Barney might be a great dancer. Is he adaptable to doing team style choreography? So you start to narrow down your talent pool that way. And they do a brief interview with the judges, nothing very in-depth on the first round. Then we make cuts from there. They come back, they learn another piece or another set of choreography
and you
that's
come back
different.
On a different date, or that's later that same?
It could be the same day.
Okay.
It could be the same day, just judging on the talent we have. And it is like, I think for me, I think it's important to give these dancers, whether they're dancing for us or in the industry, give them the tools to be successful in a real audition. So this is a real audition. You never know what's going to happen, ever. So they might have to come back and I go, you know what? I really can't decide between Barney and Kristi. So let's have them battle each other. Let's have them freestyle against each other. You know what I mean? We, you know, they don't know they're doing it, or we might just pair them up. And we, you know, last year I think that was one of my favorite parts, was pairing different people up and having them interact within the choreography to see what kind of teammate they would be, what kind of person they are. Are they going to give to the fellow dancers, or are they a taker? Are you a giver or a taker? Gotcha. As far as energy and performance. So we'll do kind of a wild card round in there, just to see how adaptable they are too. And then semifinals, look, they're already like, here she goes again. I'm known for the surprises. I really thrive off them, to be honest with you. It's a little unfair to you guys. But then we do a semifinal round, which is just more choreography, and then they'll do their solos. And they have to be self-choreographed. I'm a firm believer that I think that really shows us who they are, because I can put my choreography on Kristi and I won't see who she is. I'll see like this, this mixture of Jenny and Kristi. I want to see who Kristi is and what her true strengths are and what she believes those to be.
But you get to choose your own song. You get to it's
Your own
total
style.
creative
That's cool.
process.
Mm-hmm.
Totally
That's really
creative.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, being that this is a co-ed group,
Yep.
do you have a certain amount of men that you choose, certain amount of ladies that you choose, or you just choose the best dancers?
I just choose the best dancers.
And you've got 15 coming back.
15 out of 20.
And again, you don't automatically make it back just because you were on it last year. But oh my goodness, this is going to really, yes. If there are only 5 open spots, that's going to be tough. But for the people who you say that in the first part of the first round, you're going to throw some choreography at them.
Yeah.
What is a way for someone to prepare for that?
Get in classes. It's like riding a bike. You get better as you practice the skill. So, take, for example, we have a gentleman named, I always say boy because he used to dance for me in high school, but we have a gentleman named Daniel who is, he is by nature, he's a battler, he's a popper, he's a freestyler. And when he came to me in high school and joined my studio group, he had a really difficult time learning choreography. It took him a little bit longer than everyone else. So it's like, hey, learn as much choreography as you can. If you can't get into a class this week, the power of social media, our dancers are rising. There's a give and a take with it on, advantages and disadvantages, in my opinion, but that's another podcast, another show. But you can go onto YouTube and learn, you can take a class. So if you don't have the luxury of getting into a studio and taking classes, then find the resources. Find the resources. Be resourceful.
Expensive.
They can be. Mm-hmm. Yes, they really can be.
Know.
So be resourceful. It's like Derek, who we found in Memphis last year during our Memphis auditions. Barney said he was a diamond in the rough, and I was like, yeah, we really had to pull back, but boy, by the end of this year was he shining bright. I mean, he became one of our strongest performers on the team. But he grew up in Holly Springs, Mississippi, so he didn't have a lot of access to classes outside of J-setting or bucking, which is from the show Bring It, if you guys don't know what that is. So I encouraged him. I said, you know what, before training camp starts, utilize the internet, utilize social media, pick apart everything you can and dive in and take classes. Because he was like, we don't have any classes where I'm from in this style. And I was like, yeah, but do you have the internet? So utilize it. Be resourceful.
And you bring up Memphis. I know you're doing auditions again there in Memphis. When are you going to be in Memphis?
June 1st.
June 1st.
No, it's great because, so most of the people that watch this podcast aren't local. Because obviously Cowboys Nation is around the globe as well as around the country. And so if you're not able to come to Frisco of May 18th, when Jenny mentioned Cowboys Fit earlier, that's here in Frisco as part of the Star, our Cowboys headquarters here, then you can do Memphis. And where do people find the information, whether they want to audition here or there, or just find out more about?
You can go, I would always say, start by following our Instagram and Facebook pages, because we usually release information there first. And it's, social media is a lot easier to update and press out and, get the word out. But also you can check on our website, which is www.dallascowboys.com/DCRB auditions. And we'll be adding Memphis up there soon. In fact, I gave you guys the exclusive.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
We're announcing it here first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after, let's say you make it through the process, and then you have training camp, which is mid-June. How long does that go, and what's it like to be part of training camp? 4 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. So tell us about training camp, and is it pretty grueling, or is it fun, or a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both.
Definitely both.
Is it in the evenings? Is it during the day?
Yes, it's in the evenings. We do with training camp. It's during the normal practice schedule that that we'll have during the year, which is Monday, Tuesday, Fridays. So we meet every Monday, Tuesday, Friday for 3 weeks, and it's just we're learning all the choreography. Like we have a very large inventory for choreography. So we have to we're learning all of it to make sure that we're able to learn everything and able to do everything if we have to, at a game or anything like that. So, and it's really fun, but it's really tough mentally. I would say more mentally than physically, even though we're dancing all of these routines, but mentally it's having to remember all the dances and remembering which dance goes on which count and which move goes where and everything like that. So
and the styles are all different. We throw different styles at them so that we can get a true scope of their repertoire. Hey, you might be able to do dance hall, but can you do animation?
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing I wanted to talk to you about, and Kristi, hopefully you can address this as well. But Jenny, when you're creating this, whether you're on the plaza or you're on the field at halftime or pregame or whatever, and it's the largest stadium in the world, it's a huge plaza, and I would imagine that the style that you have to project, you have to be so big, and I would think that would be very different from something like So You Think You Can Dance, or dancing at a basketball game on your college team. Is there a huge difference, and does that call for a different thing where you're having to dance big for all those people, or is there a difference?
Well, I think that it's a little different. A little bit. I know a lot of people like Barney is doing just a lot of freestyle, and it's very intricate and inherent, and that's what Jenny will see from him at auditions. But when it comes to training camp, can you take this choreo and adapt it and like you said, project. Can you perform? And I think you have to do both. You have to be able to do both, and that's a lot of things in training camp. Can you do the small intricate movements? Can you do the big out there? Can you be a performer? I think you have to be able to be well-rounded, be well-rounded.
Yeah, I think people don't have, those of us that don't have a dance background don't appreciate the technical aspect of it, and I'm sure it's very hard to describe that. So you have to do the minutia, but you have to on a grand scale.
Right.
So
it's a 360 perspective all of the time. And I think that's, training camp is fun, but you also have to be prepared for what you can't prepare for.
Like your surprise pop-up auditions.
Surprise all the time.
Yes.
We bring people in and, it's like you see their eyes get big, the more people, and then they know that's judges. So you have to be mentally tough, but it's not to take them through a roller coaster of emotions for fun. It's really to see how adaptable they are and how malleable they are to any situation. Because say, for example, I got the call for our Finish the Fight halftime, which was our January playoff. Thank you. I was like, it was in January. Our playoff halftime. And, our event producer calls me and he's like, I want you to do a percussion halftime, but redo the music. Well, I'm at Disneyland with my family. So, we're walking around and I'm still making sure like I'm present fully with my family. But in the back of my mind, the training that we have together, I'm like, oh, yin yang twins. That's how we started,
See, I was surprised. I was wondering why you guys did It's a Small World After All. Now I know. No, that's a joke. No,
but we came back and it was a full production that we put together in 1 week, less than 1 week.
And it was spectacular.
Yeah.
It really was.
There were a lot of fun ideas in there where I thought Ronald Samaniego, who coordinates our drum line for me, I was like, and we're going to do this, and the drummers are going to flip over their drums, and it's going to spell out this, and nobody's going to know what it says, and then they're going to come together, and it's going to say #FinishThisFight. And he's like, nobody's going to get it. And I was like, maybe not. Yes, they are. They're going to get it. And then we were standing on the sideline, and they did it, and they came together, and the crowd went crazy. And all I could do was look at Ronald and be like,
told you so.
Well, he also had to make the signs too, so I think he really had, incentive to say it wasn't going to work because he was like, "Oh my God, I'm not going to sleep." But because of training camp, I knew they could handle it. I knew that they could come in, be stressed out, have an entire new catalog of halftime choreography to learn, and they were going to get out there and be professionals and perform it like they've been trained to do all along. So it wasn't stressful. And, everybody's like, you were walking around Disneyland just thinking about that? And I was like, I found my times when I could. But, it's like my thing with them is we have to be innovative. We have to be mentally tough. We have to be on top of our game at all times. So, we want to make sure we have like-minded individuals, and we find them at training camp. You figure out who can handle it when the going gets tough.
But the other big part of what you guys do, certainly the performance is the most public that we all see, but you're ambassadors for the team. And so what are some of the things that you did beyond game day, things within the community? I know that here at the Star in Frisco at Christmas, you guys were part of the Christmas Spectacular, but what are some of the things off the field that you did that you enjoyed as in your rookie season?
Christmas show was one of my favorites. I will say that first off. Getting to come to the Star and just to see everyone. They were also having the high school playoffs during that time. Oh, there they go. Here we go. During that time, so those teams were like local teams that may not. Jenny always says they may not ever see you at a game.
That's right.
That's a big opportunity for somebody to come to the game and to be able to see you perform. There's a lot of people in the Dallas community that won't get that opportunity.
Exactly.
So that was cool to see those kids be waiting to go into the high school football game out there. They're like, wait, there's like a Christmas show because it was free for the public out there. So that was something really exciting, just to be able to show our brand and entertain them, people that may not ever get to come to the game and to be able to see us on the field and stuff. So it's really cool to be able to interact with those people.
Barney, what are some of the things? I know that you guys do like military combine. You do a lot of sponsor things and the like.
And you did the salute to service here
yes.
Halloween.
Yeah, that was fun. Just being able. It's always fun going out on these appearances and being able to go out and just being able to interact with people that you wouldn't be able to interact with, usually at a game or anything like that. But it's just so fun being able to be there and their faces just light up just because they see us, and my face lights up because I see them, and it's so cool just to be able to shake their hand, high five them, say what's up, have a little conversation with them, and being able to just be out there in the community and just just being us and and just being interact with everybody.
Nikki, you know what this reminds me of, talking with Kristi and Barney about this, is a couple years ago, and it was in advance of Dallas Cowboy cheerleader auditions, but we were talking with Robin, who has since retired, but she was talking about, you know, when you put on that your outfit, you know, game day, it's like putting on a superhero costume, and people look at you in a different way, and it's what we talked about before, how you're representing, you know, our brand, you're representing our team and our community. So it sounds like you got a big taste of that. So that's probably the rewarding part, I would imagine.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's so fun. Always putting that on. I'm like, I feel so cool. I'm like, zip. Yep. I feel
Ready
good.
to go.
I feel cool. And I look at myself in the mirror.
Music.
I look at myself in the mirror and I imagine like wind, but like I don't have any hair. So it's just wind in my face. And I'm like, whatever. It's fine.
But Jenny, what part of the process or audition is you're selecting the dancers, and then in June you'll have the auditions for Drumline. But again, they are ambassadors.
Right.
They're interacting with sponsors, fans, team executives, political leaders, community leaders. So
how do we gauge that? I'm pretty sneaky in that I might look like I'm doing something else, but I really listen to how they interact with one another. That's my biggest, probably my first hurdle to jump, because I can tell what kind of human beings they're going to be out in the public by how they interact with their peers. Further from that, we do have, you know, at each audition, like I said, in the prelims, you don't get into an in-depth interview, but during training camp, our interview process is pretty strenuous. Because you're walking in and you have several Cowboys executives at the table interviewing you. So there's that interview process, but also in those pop-up auditions, you're getting a different group of judges every single time.
Oh, wow.
So they might not know you at all. So Barney better be on his best. He
All
better be
the
on his
time.
A game because he doesn't have, you know, the luxury of another first impression. So, you know, you have to be ready, and that's the way that fans are. You don't get the luxury of a first impression every single time. So you have to make an impact consistently. And I always say to them, I think it's really important, and I think I said this last year, we are in the business of making beautiful memories for families, especially because Rhythm and Blue is the first brand, someone wearing the brand that people see when they walk into the stadium, they walk into the plaza. We're never too busy to stop unless we're the music starting on the stage, but we're never too busy to stop and make someone feel like an honored guest. We want to meet you. We want to know your son's name. We want to, you know, take a picture with you and your foam finger. Like that to us is an honor, not the other way around. I remember being 8 years old, and one of my first memories was Crazy Ray. Sure. And my dad took me to a game, and it was so cold. I think we were playing the Redskins. And we sat in the end zone, and we had, you know, blankets over us, and it was freezing cold, but I could have not been any happier to be in that place at that moment with my father, and Crazy Ray came over and talked to us. So for me, I want to portray to them, you know, like, and my father passed this year. So I hold on to those moments, and I'm like, please do for your fans of this generation what Crazy Ray did for me.
For sure. Because you don't know who you're touching.
No, you don't.
You really don't.
You don't.
Yeah. And what was, you guys, what was your payoff for all that you went through with the auditions and the training camp and all the rehearsals that you have during the week? What was the moment from your rookie year that just stood out, or was like the payoff? I don't know if it was maybe the first game or first time you performed as a group, but or maybe it was an interaction with someone.
I think one of my biggest payoffs, it hit me kind of Christmas game. We're there Christmas Eve, you know, I'm not from Dallas, I'm not from Texas. And I actually said that day, I said, I've been gone and I've been away, but here with you guys, I feel like I've never been alone. So it was a big, just to suit up and put on our uniform together in the locker room. And for some reason, the Christmas Eve game, like, it really set in for me. But yeah, it's a lot to think about. But it really set in for me that we were all representing a brand together, and it doesn't matter, you know, that whole week we have been doing rehearsals and rehearsals and rehearsals, and you're working to, and you're practicing, and you're coming to the games, and it gets to be a lot. It's a very, very time consuming, and a lot of energy you have to put into it. And in that moment, we're all in a circle eating with our uniforms on, representing a brand together, and it's kind of like, whoa, like this is a lot more than just me.
Yeah, and you're from all over. You're from Eastern Kentucky. If she sounds like Kashera, like Ash from Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, because they grew up about an hour away from each other in Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
All right, and Barney's from Plano, but we have people from all over. We have Mississippi. Where are we?
We have Mississippi. We have Colorado. Where else do we have? I'm trying to think of what year. We've had Vegas.
But yeah.
I think that's one thing that's really unique about our team, is that most of the time people will walk in from to auditions, and they're from all over the country. And you know, I'll bring up Ronald again. When that started happening, he looked at me and he was like, "Do you realize what we've built here and what's happening?" It's like dancers from top collegiate programs all over the country, and you know, people like Barney and Daniel, who are well respected freestylers in our community and in the dance scene. We're all coming together, and it's brilliant. It's beautiful to watch, because a lot of the times, you know, Thanksgiving, we always have a Thanksgiving game. So there's huge sacrifices from a family perspective. I'm sure on every team, every player, the coaching staff, they're away from their family, but it's a higher level for me when I look around the room and I'm like, she's here with me today and with this family, and I need to make this a memory and make it resonate in their hearts strongly, because this is their family here on their holiday. So Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve, you look around, and like I said, not to say it again, but if 8 of your team members are away from their family, it's a big sacrifice.
That's right. Absolutely.
But one that we're all happy and honored to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we lean on each other,
That's
a
right.
little
You become
harder.
family.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And what was your payoff, Barney, for your first season?
Was the Christmas game the one we did Darren's?
No, that was
that was
opener.
That was home opener.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one. That was when we
did the halftime with the
halftime.
Kinjas.
It was I had 2. It was our first performance, our very first one. I was like,
whoa.
I was like, this is
real.
real. This is so cool. Even on the bus right there, I'm like, I put on everything. I was like, this is cool.
Got your superhero
I'm like,
costume
this
on
is
now.
Yeah,
cool.
his face
On the
blowing
bus
in the
right over
wind.
there, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. I'm in the locker room, like, this is cool. And then we got on stage, and I'm like, oh, this is happening. This is real.
Yeah.
And it was just so cool, just to like she said, represent the brand and be able to just be able to dance and do what I love, representing the Cowboys, which is a team that I've always loved. So that's been super cool for me. And then when we were doing the halftime, there was a part where we were just all on the star in the center, and we were just rocking out and just having fun. And I was like, this is it.
It's one of my favorite pictures ever, because everybody, it was a very guitar, and they all just go crazy together. But to look at the sequencing of pictures, oh, we had to throw a lot of them out, because it was But I was like, they are in it and having fun. I can't ask for more. But
You're
the other one?
And you're the proud mama.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to tone myself down, because I'm like, my facials, I'm like, I'm on stage too. So, always a proud mama for sure.
But those 2 were it for me. Just our first performance on stage during pregame, and then that halftime. On that specific moment on the star where we're all just rocking out. And it was no choreography really, just go
together
do
and
something.
just go crazy.
It was literally a go crazy moment, and we for sure did that. And that was the most energy ever. We were all dead tired by that point, but we were
you fed each other.
Yeah.
So.
Well, our time is up.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, but we need to review those. So May 18th is round
May
1.
18th is semifinals. When we talk about, I do want to add one thing. When we talk about how highly skilled they are, don't let that intimidate you. Either if you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot animate like Barney, and this girl right here can do about 14 flips and then do 18 rubber bands in a row. It's kind of what she's famous for.
But stop.
What
is animation?
Come on, do it, Barney. The cameras are right here and right here. Let's go.
Where do you want him to stand, Douglas? Do you want him to stand to his left?
Do you want me to stand? Do you want me to stand?
Yeah,
Am I
stand
standing? Do I need to take this off too?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where am
How about
There's
right
your
there?
shot right there. There's your shot.
Oh.
So face that way.
Face me.
Get it. Hit it.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Yep.
That's what that is.
That's what that is.
That's what that is.
But like I said, take Derek, for example. When he came, I was, I even told him, I said, hey, I would like to invite you to training camp, but I understand what a huge sacrifice it is because you're leaving your family. You're leaving your job for 3 weeks, and some employers might not be okay with that.
For sure.
So I really want you to look at this and know what you're getting into. I don't think you're quite ready yet. I could see you making it in the 2019 season. I'm going to invite you anyway. You decide whether you want to come. I don't think you'll make it, but please prove me wrong. And he came, and again, he made it. And not only did he make it, he was the star. He was our drum major of finish this fight halftime.
50-yard
So
line.
don't let anybody, that's what I always tell them. Don't let anybody set boundaries or limits on what you believe your potential to be. Absolutely. Decide to rise. So, and Derek did. So
I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, I've had people come in and they've maybe danced. I think we have Adriana who's danced for 2 years on our team. That's it. And, we will get you to where you need to be if we see that there's something within you. Be mentally tough, have a lion's heart or a lioness's heart, and be willing and able to do anything. And we will turn you into a dancer.
And
for sure.
And then Drumline, the folks who want to audition for that,
Yes.
that's going to be in June.
That will be in June. Stay tuned. We're going to release those dates soon. We do snares, tenors, and bass players for our core drumline. And then our rookie squad auditions will be in August. I always wait to see what our preseason schedule is going to be. So once draft day comes around and then our schedule is released, we'll set the rookie squad auditions. And
what are the ages on that? Is
that is 8 to 16.
Okay.
I'm not checking ages, but if you visually look within that range, because we do want them to be visually different from the Rhythm and Blue and the cheerleaders. We definitely need our younger demographic of fan base represented, and that's where they come in.
And where do people go to find out more information?
Our Instagram and Facebook. So it's at DC Rhythm Blue. And I know... Cowboys Nation, I know you're very smart, but rhythm is spelled RHYTHM. Trust me, it took me a while too. In 2009,
I thought there were 2 lines.
And I'm a journalism major, so I have no excuse.
I'll do it like 3 times, and I'm like,
It's only yeah, but that's where Instagram is at DC Rhythm Blue. Facebook is Dallas Cowboys Rhythm and Blue, and then Rookie Squad is DC Rookie Squad.
Perfect. Well, thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Can we stay another it
of
is
course.
awesome.
It goes fast, doesn't it?
It does.
Time flies when you're having
Yes,
fun.
it does.
Good luck at auditions.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Jenny,
Thank you.
thank you so much for sharing all of
Kristi.
the info.
And Nikki.
Yeah,
Thank you.
bet. All right.
Well, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time right here on 5 Points Blue.
This has been a production of 5 Points Blue, DallasCowboys.com, and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?